This week on a special edition of Focus Earth, as President Obama announces historic funding for clean energy, we go west to the cradle of clean technology, California, to show you how the state is surging ahead of the pack.
We're literally reshaping how solar energy is done.
The globe, this week in Focus. This is Focus Earth with Bob Woodruff.
Up next, it's the new American gold rush. The race is on to harness the wind and rays of sun. We'll take you to see the latest inventions for capturing clean energy. Throughout its history, California has always been a pioneering state. So it shouldn't be a big surprise that they're leading the way with energy initiatives. But you might not realize the extent of it, because as you're about to see, there's a new kind of gold rush in the Golden State. Surf, sun, and wind. California's abundant natural resources, powering a laid-back lifestyle, and the state's cutting-edge clean energy initiatives. The Golden State is quickly becoming a leader in greening the grid. The state requires utility companies to get 20% of their electricity from renewable resources like wind and solar by next year. And that requirement will jump to 33% by 2020. That means federal and state incentives like tax credits and increased funding for developing clean energy sources. It's all leading to a green rush of sorts, making California the new frontier for clean energy projects.
We're literally reshaping how solar energy is done.
A California startup, Cool Earth Solar, has a surprisingly simple idea for capturing the sun's rays.
We didn't set out to make a balloon. We set out to make a solar concentrator, which was very cheap and very easy to deploy.
The result, an inflatable plastic bubble with a metallic coating that reflects sunlight onto a small solar cell inside.
Instead of needing a solar panel that's the size of this entire 8-foot inflated solar concentrator, we only need a piece of solar cell material that's about 4 to 6 inches in diameter. So by concentrating the sun by 400 times, we end up producing energy much more efficiently. We produce energy much more cheaply.
Their vision, fields full of solar balloons like these prototypes, tracking the sun like space-age sunflowers and generating enough energy to power thousands of homes each day.
The sun is a great energy resource. It produces more than enough energy that we need in this world to solve our energy problem.
At California's top research facility, they're not just trying to capture the sun, they're actually trying to create one.
This is the real solar energy. We're going to build the sun right here.
Researchers at the federally funded National Ignition Facility are working on a breakthrough recreation of the thermonuclear reactions that happen deep in the heart of the sun. It's called fusion energy. Hydrogen isotopes are placed on a target the size of a pinhead. Then inside this giant orb, 192 of the world's largest lasers concentrate on an electric beam 10 billion times more powerful than a household light bulb onto that target.
And we fuse them together at very high speeds. And when you do this, you can get helium, and it pops out a neutron. And the neutron carries energy.
Enough energy to power not just the entire country, but the entire planet.
What's great about fusion is there's no carbon in it, right? We're using hydrogen and water as our fuel. No carbon comes out. It's essentially limitless, and it's perfectly clean.
Fusion energy is still a long way off, and it will be decades before the research happening here can be used at power plants around the country. But California's next generation wind technology is already a reality today.
These are the latest and greatest machines. One of these machines will replace the amount of power generated by 10, 20, sometimes even more of the older generation machines.
These turbines at Enexco's brand new Shiloh 2 wind farm top the nation in size, efficiency, and energy generating capacity.
Each machine will service 1,000 houses, and if you average three people per household, each machine, you're talking about 3,000 individuals being supplied with wind energy in California.
Each one of those turbines saves more than 300,000 metric tons of CO2 emissions that would otherwise come from fossil fuel plants. From wind to solar to future fusion technology, California's renewable renaissance is helping lead the rest of the country into the new energy future. The country may soon be following California's footsteps, and should I say carbon footprint. New legislation recently introduced in the Senate will require utilities across the country to get at least 6% of their power from renewable sources by 2012 and 25% by 2025.